A political activist called Charlie Kirk was just executed, and if you're not sure about who he is, we'll come to that. But seeing this story did make me think about how Sweden is impacted by topics such as which Charlie Kirk was focused on, all about free speech.
Over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
It is a real challenging topic over here. There are lots of unsustainable problems in Sweden in recent years, such as immigration, guns, crime, gangs. But Swedes are afraid to talk, and there's often a mentality here of thinking something, but keeping that to yourself and saying something very different. Us Brits are known for being very blunt. We say what we think, but we do so with tact and consideration of other people's feelings. But in Sweden, it's more the case of hush and don't say anything. It's a big problem really, because it means democracy is flawed in the respect that people are saying things privately behind closed doors or thinking them, but voting very differently. And that means that you're missing out on the discussion aspect. For those of you not sure who Charlie Kirk is, I didn't either. But he was shot yesterday by an unknown shooter, and it was during a public debate on a university campus. He died almost immediately, however. It is awkwardly ironic that he was an advocate for gun rights in the USA. But anyway, for a bit of background about who Mr. Kirk was, watch this.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
And if that's not bad enough, watch this as well.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered. The baby would be delivered.
Pretty heavy stuff, isn't it? It's quite shocking, actually. I really find it odd that they call some of the UK activists far right when you've got people like Charlie Kirk spouting stuff like that. He really is far right. He puts a lot of the UK activists into paling in comparison, really. I do agree that quotas for employment are silly. I'm actually mixed race, I'm a quarter Jamaican, and I would hate to think if I'd ever got a job in the past because my company that I was applying for needed to fill a quota. So I do agree that those kind of elements are silly, but his public views are quite disgusting, as shown in those videos. And in my view, colour does not represent directly competency in any respect. And as for his views on abortion, he has no right, he's a man. It's up to a woman what they do with their body, not men in political power. To think that if his 10-year-old was sexually assaulted, he would deny her an abortion, that is just horrific. But we have to come back to the topic of free speech. He is allowed to have those views. We may not agree with them, but unfortunately, he was a very powerful political activist, very, very close to Donald Trump, in fact. Some even have said that he got Trump into the White House. That's how strong his stage is. And that's where views like this become dangerous. These are incredibly far-right views. They're very hard-line. And regardless of whether I agree with them or not, he's allowed to say it. But his power and platform were incredibly influential. He had the ear of Trump, and therefore he shared his stage on a number of occasions. Charlie Kirk was a racist, a fascist, a sexist, and proud of it. But that does not mean that he needed to die, nor did anybody have the right to murder him in that way. After all, Charlie Kirk also had a family, a wife and children, although I do pity them with the views that he expressed publicly. However, he must have known that expressing such views, such hardline, strong views, put him and his family at risk, unfortunately. In Sweden, in recent years, a few individuals have been killed as well for expressing their views publicly. But the killers never achieve their goal, because by murdering them, all they're doing is martyring these individuals and then getting the views of those individuals even more widely publicized. They will catch Charlie Kirk's murderer, because this shouldn't happen. Regardless of someone's views, whether we hate those views or not, they shouldn't be allowed to murder and execute. As for Sweden, I do wish that people were able to be more open with their free speech here. It's promoted as a free, open society here, but Sweden really is not. If you say the wrong thing and the wrong person hears it, you're in trouble. And unfortunately, that's probably the way it will always be here, with people being able to think something but not say it. But that's just the way it is. What's your opinion of Charlie Kirk and the hardline views that he expressed? Comment below with your opinion. Also, if you live in Sweden, what do you think about free speech here in this country? Is it truly free? And of course, if you're not already a subscriber, as most of the viewers right now on this video are not, hit that subscribe button now for more content like this. Thanks very much for watching.